Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon, and you're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello, and welcome to BKS1 Radio, the OW Show. It is your girl, Latoya Chanel, and of course, I am here with Miss Queen B. It is another happy Tuesday, and we are happy and blessed to be in the building. And it's still October, which means we're still in Sextober, which means everybody who is in the chat tonight, first and foremost, shout out to you all. If you have any questions, we just need you to go ahead and start putting those in the chat right now.
Because we want to get to them all.
We want to get to them all because last week we were not able to, and I do apologize to everyone who had a question, and I'm going to try to go back and scroll through as we're talking about different things. Yeah. But in the meantime, Miss Queen B, how are you today?
I'm good.
Just everybody take a deep breath.
I'm taking a deep.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Jamaica has a little thing going on.
A little thing.
Little big thing going on. So we pray for them.
Absolutely.
In this time.
Absolutely.
Other than that, the world is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look anything close to what to grow up in the 80s. It doesn't look anything remotely close to what I remember.
Right.
Happy times.
Right. Is it that the times have drastically changed, or is it that we just got older and we're just more aware of things? Or is it a combination of the two?
I think both.
Yeah.
Both things.
Yeah.
But I will say that the world, we weren't dealing with half the things that we're dealing with now. Not to say that it wasn't crazy, not to say that we didn't go through things, or our parents, I should say, go through things. We had a lot of epidemics. We had, we did have things go on, but I just remember, a carefree, I feel sorry for these kids now.
World.
Yeah, definitely a simpler world.
The problem, I feel like, not only for the kids, but us too, we're so overly stimulated. So there's a challenge now with the millennial generation where they are challenging themselves for an hour with no phones, but they're recording themselves for that hour. And they look like patients in a mental hospital because they don't know what to do for an hour if their phone is not in their hand.
Yeah. True.
This one girl was sitting on the floor. She was like this. She was almost rocking. She could not function. And she was like, this is just an hour of my downtime. And she like this. And I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you?
Mine, put it in the center of the table. Like if we had dinner, we went out to dinner. A lot of times when we go out to dinner as a family, we literally play games.
Yeah.
While out to dinner.
Yeah.
So I take all their phones and we play like what's that? The heads up game.
Mm-hmm.
We play like all this other stuff just to keep them occupied or whatever. Because I grew up in an era where my mom was like, nah.
We didn't have phones.
We didn't have phones, and we was going to talk, and we was going to play, and we was going to play games. And
well, that's intimacy.
So
that's intimacy. That's closeness. That's family. That's we developed all those things during that time period. But now if everybody is looking down at their phone and everybody is separate or spaced out, it makes it virtually impossible for people to connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a disconnected, I'll say disconnected. And what you don't want them doing is connecting to just anything, whatever on the internet, and, just things that false things that they shouldn't be into.
Yeah.
And learning things from the internet that just doesn't guide them in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So, scary.
Absolutely. Yeah. But either way, like you said, we are living in a different time right now. Mm-hmm. You know what else is a different time?
What?
being perimenopausal. That's a different time. Now that's for us as women. Now, fellas, the fellas that watch, I need you guys to chime in, and maybe you can tell us, some of the things that you all go through as you get older. We've discussed some in our first two Sextober episodes, but that's a change. Being perimenopausal, right?
I want to ask Dr. Watson, what do men go through?
Listen, all right, exactly, right? So let's get her on the screen. Let's get her back in.
What do men go through?
Nothing, because we bit the stupid apple. But in the meantime, let's please get in the virtual building tonight, Miss Janelle Watson.
Oh, hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You are all the way over in LA. Is it still warm?
I'm actually on location. I am in San Antonio right now.
Texas, yes.
I am at a conference. I'm at a fertility and third-party reproduction conference. And so this is the end of a very long day, but a beautiful way to end the day.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yes. So something that Queen Bee just said, I remarked that something that is new for a lot of us is perimenopause, right? And so that's what started this discussion. We are closing out Sextober, and for everybody who is just tuning in, Sextober was not for the point of just being nasty. I mean, even if it was, so what? But it is not for the point of just talking about sex, but we were just talking about sex at this age and stage in life. And all of the things that happen to our body, all the things that happen in our minds, all of the things that will happen with your partners, or if you're trying to find a new partner or whatever, you're just by yourself, whatever it is. And of course, we were talking about it from a female perspective.
Yes.
Right? And you just said something. You're like, we go through perimenopause. There's like 250 symptoms of things that we go through. This woman was reading them online. And then one of them was like, your pinky toe itch or something stupid like that. And I was like, what? That's perimenopause? My pinky toe itch, right? But it's like 250 something symptoms that are signs of it. But what do men experience? Obviously, we know ED, right?
Okay.
Right?
But what else?
That is, but is there anything else? I got a few things because I've been talking about some things with our friend. One of our other friends. But go ahead. I'm gonna leave Janelle.
I'm not super familiar with the big differences between what men and women go through during that time, only because when dealing with menopause and being perimenopausal, there are so many other things that are connected to it that you inevitably have a much bigger conversation about it. And one of the bigger things that people talk about are the inability to procreate, or to become pregnant or have a baby, because we are very procreation obsessed.
Yes.
And so the definition of a woman, I know we've heard it a lot. The first thing that people will think of is like, oh, well, somebody who's able to have children. It's like, well, one, not everybody is able to have children. And two, when that time in your life sunsets, do I cease being a woman?
Right.
Am I no longer
Right.
useful? Am I, so there's a lot of conversation about that.
Yeah.
Not as much for men because, those symptoms are not so pushed forward.
Yeah.
They're not so connected to what I think our society sees as like our life's blood, which is having children.
Yeah.
But I mean, that said, the testosterone levels drop, and testosterone is also where, men get their strength. Men get a lot of their, secondary sex, not characteristics, but engagement, like being able to get an erection, things like that. So you mentioned ED.
Yeah.
That is something that could be related. But let's not forget that ED, or difficulty with sustaining an erection or to achieve orgasm, that also could be a medical issue that's going unchecked.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
And that, making sure blood flow is okay, making sure your heart's okay, that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. I want to, okay. So those are some of the things that we had discussed, and we had discussed that on the first episode too. But can I bring up something, and it's not going to be popular?
Oh God.
So one of the times, Janelle, when the fellas were here, they were talking about how women's pheromones change, right? And a lot of them that were 40 plus, and they were talking about the women that they date. They were like, I don't know, maybe she eat too much meat, or maybe she need to drink more water because her pheromones just stink. This, that, or the other. But what we never talk about is men and old man breath. or old man body odor? Can we not going to talk about it? And this is not a knock at them. But what I'm saying is,
I feel like it's a knock.
It's not a knock. And let me tell you why it's not a knock.
Okay.
Because there comes a time. I feel like I'm about to start singing a song, right? So there is a certain point that as our body changes, as we go through perimenopause, sometimes our smells change, our pheromones, all the things. But what a lot of men don't realize is your body
changes
and
too.
your natural scent changes too. And your breath smells like old man. Does everybody know what old man breath smell like?
No, Toya.
You don't know? Oh, yes, you do.
How I'm gonna know?
You done had grandpas, uncles, somebody. You don't know what okay, even if it's not their breath.
I haven't.
You don't know what old men smell like? Ooh, I almost said the N word. You just left working in a nursing home facility. You know what old men smell
Everybody
like.
smells the same in a nursing home. I don't know if it's old men, women. Everybody smells the same. It's the same scent. Okay.
What I will say is, when we're talking about the way that people smell, and I think you were saying that somebody was linking it to like diet and things like that.
Yeah.
That is true. It's not exclusive to women, but that is true.
And
so the way that you
that's my point.
eat foods and the way that you're taking care of yourself, hygiene practices, all that kind of stuff. Realize that as you are moving through the lifespan, your attention to detail with all that stuff changes too. So maybe it's that people are not keeping up with brushing their teeth and doing all kinds of stuff like that anymore. I don't know.
There is a very Janelle.
a very distinct.
There is a very distinct old man smell.
Okay.
That men,
Well, let's flip this
can
because
develop.
there is a very distinct teenage smell.
Yes,
right?
It's musty.
However, that teenage smell is very much linked to hygiene practices.
Yes.
Right.
Because these are the very beginning stages of needing to have a hygiene practice where when you're 4, 5, 6 years old, your sweat's not must or funk or whatever.
And we
it's
maintain
when you
that.
start to go
Most
through
of
puberty.
Your parents maintain that most of the time. You are doing that. When you leave it up to them, you don't even ask them. You be like, when the last time you took a shower?
You don't even do when the last time. You just say, get your behind in
the
that
shower.
bathroom.
Yeah. And so we have to remember the parallels between the beginning stages of life and the ending stages of life. That as we're ushering into puberty and as we are moving into menopause or, other stages of life, but those two areas of life are a lot more similar than we think.
Really quick, one thing, like you said, is, and the purpose of us talking about this is to bring awareness to it, because going into your 40s and 50s is like re-entering puberty again. And the point is that the same things that you were doing maybe in 20, 30, 40 may not work at this particular stage. So for the women who are going through perimenopause, okay, maybe you just washed with Dial and then you walked outside. No, sweetheart, your pheromones have changed. Maybe you need to use a vaginal wash now. Maybe you need to do other things, or maybe you don't need to use anything or just water. But the thing is, my point is also for men.
Bring it home.
Also for men. Maybe all you did was go in the shower, did a quick whoop whoop with some Dial, right? And you think that you good. No, sir.
Not good.
No, sir.
Not good.
No,
You
so
may
let
need
me
to start
throw another
exfoliating.
theory of that into it also, because when you're thinking about people who are aging, there's something about that middle section of your life where there is a lot of, for lack of a better way to put it, peacocking to attract partners or to find somebody to spend your life with, right? And so you may do things and have some ritual around doing things to, for lack of a better way to say it, get your mate. Once you have them, do I have to do this anymore? Do I have to,
wait.
you start to
But wait, I have a
go
friend
lax
that's
a little bit.
I have a friend that's a married couple, and the husband is afraid of developing old man breath, and talks about it with his wife.
Is it because you told him about old
No.
man breath and now he's-
No, they were
now
having
he's
this conversation. They were having this conversation on their own, and
Yeah.
then said something to me, and I said, I know I've been around men that have this, and they don't know it. Yeah, I have. Don't look at me like that. We'll talk about it afterwards. We'll talk about. But in the meantime, he is deathly afraid of it. You know why?
Yeah.
Because his friends have it. His friends have it, and he smells his friends. And he knows that his friends have it as a man, but he's not saying anything to him. He's saying it to his wife, like, I don't want that to happen to me.
Wow.
So it's an issue for him.
I want to just go back to peacocking. Very great term.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
something new for me. But let me tell you this. So today, when I was getting dressed and I was actually going to work, because I, started working back in corporate, and I went down the stairs and everything, had my bag and everything like that, and I was like, you know what? I literally went back up the stairs because I didn't spray anything on me. And the one thing I like to do is, I need to spray something. And so when you say we get away from that, absolutely. We literally do. We get away from, we're like, I'll just go. And it's just like, no. Like, you gotta still continually peacock, even if you have your mate already.
And some of us, because some of us don't. Some of us may mutually be in a relationship where we're like, look, I got you, you got me. We're going to settle into this no fuss, chill, what have you. And then there are others who are like, look, I enjoy this. I like putting myself together. I like looking a certain way.
Like,
and I'm going to do
Gerald
it.
Levert says that funky dope kind of love.
We're just going to settle into this funky relationship.
No, because I said to her, I just want to be transparent too. And I said it was funny because, and I think Shantae's in here too. But we went away for a little bit. I think where we were going to DC or something like that.
Yeah.
And you know how when your girls get together, you start talking about things.
We went to the spa. We were at the spa. Yeah.
So I was just like, guys, like, has your body changed? Like, has your odor?
No. Let me put y'all there.
You gonna put us
So we
there?
all sitting in the spa. We all in the hot tub. Everybody lounging. We done had some drinks that had some.
Yes.
I don't think it was weed. What is it?
THC
or something.
CBD.
There you go.
Yes.
So we are completely relaxed, right? This one over here stressing. She was like, "Oh my God, guys, are you at a point where like your body odor is changing?" We all looked at her. I was like, "Girl, yeah. Like, what are you talking about?"
Okay,
She was
let
like,
me just
"Oh
give you my
God."
background. Let me give you first of all, I am an only girl in my family. So my friends, and I was telling my people at the job today, my friends are the ones that taught me pretty much like everything I know about. Don't get me wrong. My mom did the whole like hygiene thing, but not the extras, like shave your legs.
You didn't have that peer support in the home.
So it was more that. So they're the ones who are like, yo, you got to do this, do that. So it's embarrassing sometimes to be like, yo, like, do y'all notice? And every single one of them was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I felt like I was on a lonely limb by myself. Who am I going to talk to this about?
Yeah, because if you don't do nothing about it, you will smell like an 8-year-old football player.
Yes, you will.
It's like you have to make sure that you are keeping up. And that's, I don't care if you're married, if you have a partner, if you're whatever it is, you will smell like an 8-year-old football player.
And I think like, I keep taking showers. I'm like, what is going on? And I know it definitely is what you eat, right? You got to watch what you eat. And the crazy thing is, it doesn't even matter if you've eaten the same thing your whole life.
Right.
Your body does
changing.
not react to everything the same exact way. So I'm very knowledgeable about that. But I think in relationships, just to bring it full circle, I think in relationships, we don't talk about it enough.
No.
We don't talk about it enough, right?
No.
So
because we're too busy being embarrassed about it.
Yes.
I mean, you were with your girlfriends in a hot tub feeling relaxed, and even you were nervous about saying something.
Yes.
So no, we don't talk about it nearly enough. And I think that, and I may have said this in a previous one, but getting to know yourself as you evolve is going to be so important.
Okay.
So it's not, everything that I did when I was 20 is the same stuff I'm going to do when I'm 40, 60, whatever.
Yeah.
I have to stay on top of what's changed about my body because your body is changing. The stuff you used to be able to do, you might not be able to do that anymore. And that's okay. And you can mourn that and you can grieve that and you can let that go, but then move into where you're moving into. And that includes your partner.
Yes.
They may have some stuff too. They might be going through a little bit of an existential crisis
So
too.
what would be your suggestion to talk to your partner? Like, what would be your suggestion to couples or, that's having a hard time?
Yeah, because it's like, while we intimate, your arms is like this and your armpits stink. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what would be your suggestion of a way to talk about, hygiene and all that stuff?
I mean, one, read the room. And by read the room, I mean, understand who you are partnered up with. So if your partner is somebody that you can make a joke about that too, and you want to enter it in that way, sure. If you have a partner that might be more sensitive about that, and you know that if you make a joke about it, it's going to shut them down, don't do that. So first, I would say read the room and figure out how you want to say it, and then just say it. I mean, you're sharing your body with this person. You're sharing your life with this person. This can't be the first time that y'all have had an intimate, difficult conversation. And if it is, welcome. But talk to them. Talk to them and say, or start it with something that you've noticed about yourself. You don't need to start it with something you've noticed about them. You don't need to point the finger at them and go, you stink. Like, who wants to hear that from their partner while they're naked in bed?
Right.
Nobody. So why would you think they would want to hear that?
Okay. Right. That's
good.
No,
that's good.
I'm like, that's good. So, so Mufid said, "What is that smell? Because I don't want to smell like that."
I cannot.
Okay, let's address the whole smell thing or whatever. Let's understand that hygiene and smells and all that kind of stuff is very subjective and it's cultural. And I know people don't like to hear that. I know people like to think, no, there's a right way. There's a right number of times that you're supposed to bathe or shower in a week. There's the right things you're supposed to apply on your body. Especially on TikTok, there's this whole movement around shower talk.
Yes.
And
around
people,
what?
Shower.
About people looking upon Black folks to tell them how to cleanse their body because they got the memo that we do it more often.
I didn't get on that side of TikTok.
No,
I didn't get on that side of TikTok.
If you look up shower talk on TikTok, it's
a
endless.
whole movement.
What?
It's a whole movement.
Okay.
But my thing about it is there is no one right way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's going to depend on everybody, and not everybody prioritizes cleansing their body in the same way.
Yeah.
And that does not make them a disgusting person. That does not make them a poor person.
Absolutely.
And I'll even go one step further. You'll have dermatologists and other doctors on TikTok who say competing things.
Yeah,
that say absolutely take a shower every single day. What are you talking about? Other ones, no, you don't need to take a shower every single day. A couple of times a week is perfectly fine. Or if you had a particularly sweaty day, then yes, absolutely. But if not, then it's not a big deal. There is no rule. And I'm sure that there are a lot of Black folks who are rolling their eyes as I say this right now. But it really isn't. It's really subjective. Now, as far as smell, if there is an odor that you find offensive and you want to do something about it, then do something about it. If there is an odor for somebody else that you're close to and you want to let them know at your own risk, but it's up to them if they want to do something about it. And if it's a stranger, it's none of your business.
Yeah.
If they stink, then they stink. Okay. If they smell a way that you don't like, okay. I love perfumes that people hate. So some people might think that I stink. I don't, because I decide whether or not I stink.
Right.
Hello.
Right.
So, so it really depends. And I think we need to kind of get away from this idea that there is one way to be and one way to do, and it's a right way and a wrong way.
Okay.
It is all subjective. This life that we're living is subjective.
No, you're right.
Let people live. You don't want to be by somebody who smells bad, then take your leave of them and go to the other side of the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
So with your partner, just make sure y'all get on the same page.
Yeah.
You're on the same page.
Yeah. Whoever your partner is. Okay. And then we had, what is this? Somebody said old is old, man or woman. And
old is old. This is true.
Someone said, and if you're stressing, your body can smell less desirable as well. Someone said, men and women's bodies' chemistry change as we age. Diet definitely affects it. Hygiene practices change. Simply eating asparagus can cause a woman's vagina to smell.
That's true.
Things men eat, drink, and smoke can change the smell and taste of their sperm. Drinking alcohol over time can affect the smell of your body as well. You know what, though? Drinking alcohol can affect your body. I had an ex who only drank Merlot. And I swear it was coming out of his pores.
Yeah.
But Merlot was a sweet smell to me. So I was like, I don't want you to be an alcoholic, but, this is a
keep drinking it. That's where you were with that.
This is a really great smell.
That's his internal cologne.
Literally. It is in your bloodstream at this point. Someone said it's also about hydration. A lot of people consume less water as they age.
That's true.
Dehydration affects your body, including your gums and your body smells.
That's
yes,
true.
and then she said it's definitely cultural and subjective. So absolutely. Okay, so that was
funny. I just wanted to add whatever about the movement on TikTok. But what I've experienced is funny because I always tell this story when I had a roommate in college. Of course, I am a black female. She was, a white female. And I remember us having conversations about, in order to break the ice, we kind of was like, what are the things that I was like her first black roommate. I was literally like her first black friend because she grew up in a really small town. So I laugh at to this day. Her name, shout out to Denise. She was like, I was like, tell me like the things that you heard about black people. You know what I mean?
Oh my.
Oh God. It got to
Oh
a point where
my.
I was like, whoa, wait. But she said to me, some of the funny things she said, she was like, you guys always eat chicken, you eat watermelon, stuff like that. But one of the things she said is that you guys don't take showers every day because you don't wash your hair every day. And I was like,
what?
That's a common one.
So it's funny that I promise you. So that's why I bring that up, because when you said the shower thing on TikTok, that was the thing. It's like, we do shower. Like, we do shower, but we don't wash our hair every day.
Yeah.
Because
and for some people, those things are one and the same.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like I just wanted to put that plain and simple out here.
Yeah.
That we do take a shower every day, some of us, and we don't have to wash our hair every day.
No.
You bring up a good point, though, because I also went to a PWI. I went to Cal.
Okay.
And my first roommate was Asian. My second roommate was white. And I had never shared intimate space with somebody who wasn't black, right? I grew up with sisters. I grew up in a black neighborhood. And I went to white schools, but we didn't really we weren't really that close. But being there and seeing how they do stuff, I would just be like, huh. So that's what you. All right. So no washcloth for you, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
So your drawers are just all over the place. You don't. Okay. Well, you don't know how to do your laundry. Okay. Well, how do you? And so it was just so much that was just running. So I can only imagine.
And I actually had an Indian roommate that did not shower.
Yeah.
And it used to drive me absolutely crazy. And I would be like I had to stay with her. Now it was just the summer. Like I had to stay with her for that, the summer. But I was like, OMG. Like, this is crazy. But again, like you said, it's a different culture. It's what
so
you're taught.
So when choosing a partner, just to make sure that y'all you will align.
Because
so when it comes to being intimate with them.
Because you don't, let's be real. Like, we have interracial dating, we have different cultures dating, we have whatever, and you just need to be able to
align.
You need to be able to say, hey, this is what I do, what's up with what you do, and be okay with that, because you don't want to wake up in the morning one day and be like, so you just don't do this?
Yeah. So we just got down and did our thing,
that's
and you
it
hopped
for
up,
you?
put your clothes on, and left, and went to work and went to school.
Right.
Like, okay.
Right.
Am I okay with that?
So
no. Okay. Well, then this might not be the person that you want to be. And that's important too, to pay attention to the people that you are with. If it's a relationship, situationship, marriage, whatever, pay attention to that person, because that's the person that you're with, even if it's for a short period of time. And understand that if you don't like something about them, you don't have to be there. You don't have to be with them. It's not a foregone conclusion that y'all have to be together because you happen to like each other physically.
Yeah.
There's so much more to it.
So for the sake of hygiene,
Yeah.
And in Sextober. Yes, we are all aging. Yes, there can be different smells. You need to either have a conversation with your partner if it's offensive to you, but make sure you are all aligned. But I do want the fellas to know, especially the fellas that came on the show and called out all the women, that men, you experience something too. I have a question from one of the guys.
Go ahead.
Okay. He said, this question was, is there something wrong with being a cougar?
Is there something wrong with being a cougar? Here's my thing to that. There was never anything wrong with men dating younger, so why would there be something wrong with women dating younger?
Okay.
I don't see the problem. It is socially acceptable and expected that men be older.
Yes.
And somehow it's record scratch if a woman wants to date somebody who's younger. And there's a lot to be said about it, like, oh, well, women mature faster, so if women are dating a man who's younger, he's way less mature than her. And I mean, whatever. Everybody is different. I don't see anything wrong with somebody dating somebody younger or older. Just keep it legal,
That part.
And even with the keep it legal part of it, I think some people take that to mean that as soon as at the stroke of midnight, when somebody turns 18, they're fair game.
Ooh, child.
I mean, I call that into question, because dating somebody who is 18 and you're 40 is very different than dating somebody who's 18 and you're 20. It's a huge gap. It's a difference. It's a difference in brain development. It's a difference in life, potentially, hopefully. It's a lot of difference, and navigating that could be very complicated. So, but on principle, like somebody who wants to date somebody younger, I don't care.
Yeah,
do what you do.
36 and 56.
36 and 56?
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's the other thing. So like 18, don't make me do math. So like 18 and 30 is going to be very different than 30 and what is that? 50 whatever.
Yeah.
Because again, we're talking brain development, we're talking, life stages, and also the likelihood that you're going to come into contact with somebody at that age. I'm also wondering what people are doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I am in my mid 30s, where am I running into 18-year-olds is my question.
Yeah, where are you at?
Versus somebody being in their 50s, you might be working with people who are in their 30s, and y'all are together all the time.
So you thinking that the 18-year-olds is at the club? I mean, the 50-something years olds or 40-something years olds is at the club or something like that?
No, they picked them up someplace else.
Something else? Oh, okay.
But I mean, in general, as a professional, as a mental health professional, who am I to judge who somebody chooses outside of things being not legal?
Yeah.
Or, we're talking about coercion, or we're talking about manipulation or things like that. I would be more interested in a conversation about that than numbers on birthday cakes.
I'll be honest with you. And I'll say from my life experience, like you said, I will be transparent enough to say that, my kid's father was 40 and I was like 18, 19 when I met him. And I had no business at all doing that. And I look at my daughter right now, and I would probably burn somebody's house down if you even tried to kick it. You know what I'm saying? To my daughter, like, if you were that old. My thing is that there, like you said, at 18, 19, when I was in college, there is no place for anybody that's 40. Like, what are we talking about? What is our conversation? You know what I mean? And I don't care. People will be like, oh, but they have an old spirit. Not old enough. No. Not old enough.
Well, something that people have been saying, and usually this is directed towards men, but I would say either way.
Okay.
When people would say things like, oh, well, they're just really mature for their age. It's like, okay, how many friends do you have who are that age? Yeah. Or is it just the people you want to sleep with?
Yeah, that part.
Because it's not equal.
Oh,
that's
a word right. No, that right there.
Is not 18.
That
your partner is not 18, but the person that you want to lay with is 18.
You said
make that make sense.
There. That make
So it's funny because there are lots of ways in which people can manipulate or can coerce people in their relationships that aren't even just like age gap type things. It's also financial.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're also talking about people who they would not have a place to live or a way to feed themselves or clothe themselves without this other person there. And not just because, oh, I chose to be a stay-at-home, whatever, and they're the ones who works, but it's like, I restrict you. I forbid you from doing those things, and you only get those things from me, and I'm isolating you. It's like, okay, that's a lot easier to do when that person is significantly younger than you. You know?
Yes.
So
no, that's
we got to think about that.
Okay.
But leave the cougars alone. They fine. It's okay.
It's all right.
I would not. I will not
sure
be.
It's okay.
I will not be one of them. But you know, because it's a no for me. But you know, for anybody else,
I mean, your kid.
My children are. If I have a son that will be 30, not if I do. There is no way I can date you when you're 34. That means y'all were in high school at the same time.
Oh God.
Let me see. What is the actual age gap for a cougar?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you know what? Good question. Look that.
I'm not doing that.
What is the actual age gap? Because in my mind, I'm thinking like 10 years, 15 years, that kind of a gap. But I wonder if people think that it's smaller than that.
Oh, my wife is 10 years older than me. Is that cougar?
I don't know.
Babe, I think you're a cougar. Like, what?
I don't know.
Because when you know what? I don't think it matters now. But let's go back. I graduated in 97. She graduated in 87.
Okay.
How old was I in 87? You know what I mean? 8. Oh.
Yeah.
You know, that matters.
But when you move it along the line, it's like if we're 10 years apart.
Really matter?
Because if we're 10 years apart, if I'm 40 and you 50, okay. But if I'm 20 and you 30, that might look a little different.
It does look a little different, I think.
You know, if you're 20 and I'm 10, you going to jail. I'm just saying, like, you know, so the amount of years between you is not created equal. It depends on where y'all are landing along that spectrum too.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to get serious for a second, and I wanted to talk about how parents or educators can have more age appropriate conversations about sexuality.
Why we gotta talk about parents?
I gotta because some of these people got kids.
Yeah, but this
why wouldn't we want to talk about parents?
I don't want to talk about parents. I got questions.
Here's why. I'll answer it because it is important. Because in my work as a sex educator, I don't know if I mentioned that already, but I used to do sex ed in middle schools, high schools, college campuses, and with adults. And when I did it with adults, initially it was how to talk to your kids about sex and sexuality. What it morphed into after talking to them for a little bit was, oh, I need to back this up and I need to give you a one-on-one because I'm asking you or trying to equip you with the tools to talk to your kid about sex, but nobody talked to you about sex.
Yeah.
So your ability and comfort to talk to your kids about sex is directly proportionate to your own comfort with it.
Yeah.
So my feeling is you getting comfortable to talk about it with your kids is also you getting comfortable to confront some stuff with your own.
Yeah.
So it's all related.
So
if that's the avenue, then so be it.
I asked you this question because we had this conversation at work today where, you know, we grew up in an era where you either had a blunt parent or somebody that talked to you about something or you had a parent that did not talk to you about anything at all.
Yeah.
And so some
major
people
denial.
literally just figured sex out by their friends, you know, by watching stuff, like we said, you know, a couple of weeks ago, like porno and things like that. So I just wanted to know, because I know, let me tell you, my comfortability of talking about sex with my kids is just, it's a, no. You know, I think my mom did. I think my brothers talked to my son about it, but I don't think I really had the conversations because I really wasn't comfortable. Now, I had a blunt mother. My mother is probably watching, was very
She
blunt.
is watching.
Okay.
Hey, Miss Jerry.
Who was very blunt about sex and whatever. But there are some parts of her that it was like, no, I'm not going to have those conversations. And that's what I had my friends on. But I just wanted, like you said, I just wanted to know, you know, the age appropriate things to kind of say and what ages we should be talking about because sex for this has changed. The age appropriate things, like I remember we didn't talk or discuss certain things at 12, you know what I mean, or whatever.
Yeah.
But now if you do not talk to your kid at 12, you are way behind.
Yeah.
Is that true?
My thing is, I think when people think about talking about sex and sexuality, we immediately think about the mechanics of sexual intercourse.
Okay.
And then deem that is inappropriate to talk to a 12-year-old or whoever about, right? And objectively speaking, maybe that is correct. However, we also know, especially in our community, that sexual abuse and sexual assault of our young kids, both boys and girls, happens very, very early.
Often, yes.
And if they do not have the language to report back what their day is like and what happens when they are not in your presence, you may be missing a lot of opportunity to know things that are going on.
Okay. Yeah.
And I won't go too deep into it because I don't want to traumatize people. But I mean, there are lots of ways that people will dress up abuse into games that they play with kids.
Yes.
And when you only have the vocabulary of wee and hoo-ha and all of these other things, you're able to shield and conceal abuse that's happening because they're using these fun words for, things. They don't have a sense of bodily autonomy where it's like, look, I don't want you to touch me. And so my parents and my loved ones around me are going to uphold that. So if I don't want to give Auntie so-and-so a hug, I don't have to. Or if I don't want to go over so-and-so's house, I don't have to. And I think that when we're forcing people into compliance instead of actually getting curious about what's going on with them, we're missing opportunities to actually hear what they're trying to tell us.
Yeah.
And that sucks because those 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds turn into teenagers, turn into 20-somethings, turn into adults who now have a very skewed relationship with not only sex and sexuality, but talking about it. Or who's a trusted person. So I would say if you want to know how young you can start talking about sex and sexuality, I would say birth.
Yep.
Birth. And how old? Death.
Yep.
Because that is the span of sexuality. It is the day you are born and the day you die. So talking about it is just going to look a little different. It's going to be about body parts. It's going to be about safety, or it's going to be about, when I say no, that gets to be respected. And then as you get older and develop and have different kinds of interactions with people, it might get a little bit more specific and it might get a little bit more mechanical about sexual intercourse.
All right.
Yes.
Was that our responsible moment? Because I'm done with that. Can we get back over
go
or
ahead.
towards the death end?
Go ahead.
Okay, now.
Okay.
Look, we're on the death end, right?
Okay.
Janelle, what's a kink?
What is a kink? Okay. Is there more context to this question? Is there more context to this question?
No,
Are you looking
just
for
what is the definition of having a kink?
All right, I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm going to see if there is a definition that I am okay with, but I can, tweak or whatever.
Okay.
Hold on one second. So, all right. So a kink is essentially, when we're talking about in the realm of sexuality or sexual practice, it is something that a person likes to engage in or participate in that is outside of the margins of what people consider to be conventional sex. Okay. So basically anything that is not vanilla, penis to vagina, run-of-the-mill sex. Stuff that exists outside of that. And that is an endless horizon of things that it could be.
So, okay. So with this kink, it doesn't necessarily have to be intercourse, but the person finds some sort of enjoyment or can get off on we clean necklaces together, and that's like, oh my God, now I'm orgasming because we're cleaning a necklace. And that's like, it's not intercourse, but to me it's intimacy. And
I mean, it could include intercourse, but it has a wide open space of it including other things that maybe you wouldn't think are sexually related.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, like one that might be a popular one, like people who are into feet, for example, that would be a kink. right? There are whole websites set up to that. There's a whole, situation of people being harassed about their feet and how good they look. And ooh, that's, that could be seen as like a kink. Some of the kinks are a lot quieter and you don't really notice them and you wouldn't, be able to tell and some of them might be a lot more involved and louder and involve props and other things too. There's a lot of room for what could be considered a kink.
When should you in your head sometimes too? Like sometimes, yes, because you don't always tell. You don't always.
But that was about to be my question. Oh. When should you reveal what your kink is to your partner?
Sometimes you never.
Why?
Why not?
Well,
so why is it fulfilled then if you don't reveal it?
It is because if you do something that turns me on, or if you do something,
how do they know to do it?
They don't know, I guess.
But why? But shouldn't they know?
No,
Janelle. Please.
What? Okay. What is the question? Should you reveal your kink to your partner?
When should you reveal? When or now she's saying you don't. So when or if should you reveal your kink?
Controversial take.
Okay.
I don't think that it's terrible if you don't reveal every single thing about yourself to your partner. Hold on.
Oh no, I agree.
Let me
agree
cook.
Yeah.
I don't think that every single thought and notion and whatever has to be, emphasis on has to be up for dissection by your partner. I think we have thousands upon thousands of thoughts every day, and a lot of them don't mean anything. And some of them mean something, and some of them are everything to you. And I think that you get to choose what you want to share with your partner, but also understand the why you want to share it with your partner. Is this something that you're letting them know because you want to do it with them? Is it something you're letting them know because it's something that you want to do and you know that they don't like it, but you think it would be a good idea to let them know that is an interest and maybe there's a way for you to get that outside of the relationship? I don't know. But I'm always going to lean towards, yes, communication is best, but if it's not serving that relationship or you don't feel like it's pertinent to share, you don't have to share it.
Because I think some kinks are just left in your mind. Like you don't always know what turns me on. You're not always gonna know, and guess what? We talked about this like maybe last week or so. There are certain things that drive me crazy inside my head that give me the inspiration to have sex or give me the inspiration to want to initiate sex. But you don't always know what that is. And I mean, come on. We said
that's like people who think that, you have to share your highlight reel and other people don't think you have to share your highlight reel. Right. So if there are images that you have that get you going or get you there or whatever, am I obligated to tell my partner that? Am I obligated to tell my partner that there's a series of celebrities that are running through my head that really helped, that got me going and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go? Or is that just a fantasy and a thought that I have to myself? You got to wonder that. And you also have to know who you're with. Because if you're with a partner who's like, I have to know all that, this is cheating if you don't tell me, that is informative. Because then maybe that's not the person I need to be with if they feel like they have to have access to things that I don't think that I have to give them access to. And then also, not every thought, not every fantasy, not every kink is one that you want to play out either. Just because I like it, just because I saw it, just because I'm interested in it does not mean that's
you want to play it
what
out.
I like. There are plenty of people who watch gangbang porn and have no desire to be in a gangbang, but they like it, they like to watch it, they like to see it, but that doesn't mean that I want to do it.
No, right. I agree with that. Okay. All right. Okay. So
it's okay.
Come to some common ground with that there.
Yeah. It's all right.
We've come to some common ground.
Sometimes it got to stay there. And it's a reoccurring thought in my head all the time.
Here's the other thing, is if it's bothering you, or if you feel like, wow, this is something that's going on and I'm feeling guilty that I'm not talking to my partner about, like those are the things that you want to take a look at and go, okay, well then maybe this is something I should be telling, or I want to tell them, or I need to figure out. Because if it wasn't a big deal, it wouldn't be bothering you.
Right.
If it wasn't a big deal, it would be a fleeting thought that you wouldn't have. It's like thinking about elbows. Nobody cares about that. But if it's something that you're like, I don't know how I feel, I might be bothered by this, then maybe that's something to explore.
Okay. And then the other question is, how do you know if you have a kink? How do you know what your kink is?
I think you get closer to knowing what your kink is if you let yourself think about it a little bit more. And if you let yourself look into it a little bit more. So I guess I guess I'll use the gangbang example. It's like if that's something that's like, oh, that looks interesting, and then that look interesting turns into that probably feels really good.
Right.
Or if in thinking about it, you start to see yourself in that position, in whatever role in that, you go, I think that does sound really good, or does sound really interesting. Let me look into how people usually get into that. Or let me see, if there's a way for me to be able to do that if I wanted to do it. Like it's feeding the curiosity and seeing and checking in with yourself how you feel about that.
Yeah.
Because there's a long road, maybe not as long for a lot of people, but there's a road, there's a pathway to a thought before it becomes an action. And so if I'm looking into it and I'm okay with it and I'm checking in with myself and I'm still okay with it, then maybe we might be closer to it. Like it might be a kink of mine.
Y'all hear that, everybody? I just want to make sure everybody hears that. Okay,
Yes.
so if you don't know if you have one or not, maybe it's your reoccurring thoughts. So that's
your curiosities, and seeing what you like, what you don't like, and that's the same thing with sex at all, or being in relationships at all. You're just trying stuff out. Nobody's born knowing how to be in a relationship and how to have sex and how to please yourself and your partner. You try a bunch of crap. It's just that when it's not within this narrow view of what sex is supposed to look like, we get freaked out. It's like when you try different positions when you're having sex with your partner, that's not a big deal. But because I want to include whips, now it's a big deal. Or because I want to incorporate feet a little bit more, now it's a big deal. Like, what's the threshold? What's wrong with exploration and curiosity?
How do you incorporate feet a bit more? Okay. Huh. Okay. Like
I could answer that question, but probably after.
It's like, how do you incorporate feet a bit more? That's pretty interesting. Okay, I'm sorry. These are just some of the questions that I got throughout the week, and so I'm just making sure that we ask them to you.
Rapid fire.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So for everybody who's in the chat, you can add your questions in now because we are going to ask. Mufid said, "I got kinks." Ha, he's hilarious right now. Jessica said, "Now you talking my topic." Yes, Jessica. If you got any additional questions in regards to kinks, not in regards to kinks, but in regards to anything, please go ahead and let us know. At this particular age, let's say 50 plus.
Okay.
Is there a such thing as having too many partners?
Having too many partners, like currently, like simultaneously, or like you're talking about body count?
Simultaneously.
Like simultaneously in a sex act, or simultaneously like a roster?
Like a roster. And you're sleeping with everyone in your roster.
I mean, communication, honesty, protection. I mean, do you? I don't think that's I don't think that's something you age out of. Or I remember I went to grad school with somebody who got so mad, and we got into a heated back and forth because he said the phrase like, well, sometimes maybe when you want to grow up and get married and stop being immature. And I said, whoa. Maturity is not somebody getting married, and somebody not being married is immature. I was very not pleased with that. But it's like some people think that when you age, the goal is supposed to be one woman, one man. Like, let's make it heteronormative. One woman, one man, and that's it. That is not everybody's life. That is not everybody's decision or choice. And so if I'm 50, if I'm 60, and I got a rotation up at the senior citizens home, which, by the way, they absolutely do. Okay, they absolutely do have a rotation at these residential places.
Oh yeah,
the STDs are up like this.
Yes,
at the residentials. Okay, so let's keep that in mind.
with the senior citizens. Yeah,
that is okay if that's what you want to do. My encouragement would be to be as safe as possible.
STDs, like Miss Smith, sit down.
Oh yeah, I've definitely had people who've worked there who have to run like sex workers out of there when they get their checks, because when they get their check, they're like, okay, let's handle this. Let's do this. I got my pills. Let's go.
Sex workers.
Elders still have sexuality.
Yes, they do.
Elders still have sex. So you think that at 20 something, you're the only one, you get to have the monopoly on having more than one partner? Please. No. They do too.
85 and 90.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So what are some common myths about good sex?
That good sex is organic and it just happens. And that the first time you have sex with someone, if you independently know what you're doing, and I'll use air quotes for know what you're doing, then you will just have amazing explosive sex. And that's not necessarily true. That good sex sometimes takes time and takes rhythm. Now, with that, I'll say good sex could be a one time with a rando that you've never met and we had no idea and it was organic and it was explosive. So yeah, good sex can happen and good sex can be really elusive and you have to work for it.
But I think it's just subjective too, because what I
It's all
view,
subjective.
right? What I view good sex
Spoiler alert.
may
It's
not
all
be what my
subjective.
partner view good sex.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the part too.
Well, and what constitutes good sex is different for different people. Because for some people, they cannot have an orgasm and say that they had an amazing experience.
Right.
Yeah. And other people, it's like they could have orgasms and it's like, that was kind of mid. It's like, but you seemed like you were having a good time. Yeah, I know, but I had better. It wasn't great.
Right. God. Oh, gosh.
Very true. It's subjective. It is subjective. That is
Nothing to say.
the theme of all of it. It is all subjective. There is no rule that applies to everybody when it comes to this.
Yeah.
And thank goodness, because it's way too dynamic and the imagination is way too good for it to just be one way. No.
Your take on role play for couples.
Role play with couples. Do it. I don't know. It's great. It can be great. Costumes, props, scripts, outside, inside, do it. Yeah, why not? Keep it safe, keep it legal, do it.
Yeah, keep it legal.
You want to be strangers at a bar? Sure, do it. It's like,
okay.
You want to be Barack and Michelle? Do it. I don't know.
Whoever you decide to be. And play it out. No, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm for it.
So as we wrap up Sextober, I want to know, what is it that, again, this premise was sex is or can be very different as we age. Give me top 3 things you want everyone to know.
Yeah.
Right? So, if we were teaching a class at middle school and then a class at 25 and 35 and you got to the 50-year-old, you would say, okay, this, and this.
Good question. Good question. I would say keep getting to know yourself because you are ever evolving. And make sure that you stay as close as you can to what it is that serves you, that makes you feel good, that fills you up, that gets you excited, that challenges you. Be very focused on what you have going on and getting more intimately acquainted with how you can have more pleasure in your life. That would be 1. 2 would be, if you are with somebody else, understand that they are also in the room. And so there may need to be some adjustments, accommodations, or participation in their pleasure as well. It's not just about you.
Okay.
So if you're with somebody else, you are a participant in their pleasure as well. And that should be taken just as seriously. So maybe that's 2. And then 3 would be, try not to look in other people's lanes as much as you can. Try to focus on your own lane as much as you can, because other people will yuck your yum whenever they want. They will have judgment about whatever it is that you do anyway. So there's no need for you to do things that are only to please other people and onlookers to your life, because they're going to judge you regardless. So if you're going to judge me, I'd rather you judge me for being authentically me than me trying to mimic what you think I'm supposed to be at 50 or at 55, or you're a grandparent, or you're this or you're that. Yeah, these are a lot of labels and these are a lot of hats that I have, but the only person who is intimately acquainted with who I am and what I need to do is me. So enjoy the show, but I'm not going to look to you to decide what it is I'm going to do for myself. Okay. So those would be my 3.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Queen B, you're not a therapist, but what do you want people to know from as we wrap up Sextober?
I think I have this thing where, and I'll tell you this, I've seen where people are having conversations about their partner with their friends, as opposed to when it comes to their bodies or when it comes to sex or when it comes to whatever. And I think I would say, please have more conversations with your partner. Please make it a point to really talk to, because what you can't do is this guy. What you can't do is talk to your friends, because your friends and everybody outside of the relationship is not going to fix anything. You know, you need to talk to them about the intimacy or lack of. You need to talk to them about, the smells. If there is a smell different or whatever, you need to talk to them about whatever. I think I've seen that a great deal, you know, and you will hurt your partner as opposed to helping them. You know what I mean? In the long run, I think, right? Yeah. And that will make more of a sexual disconnect, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that is one of the things I would say. Like you said, whatever it is to spark up your sex life, have sex. You know,
I mean, my final thought is my original thought: use it or lose it. I'm still there. There is literally nothing that we have talked about in these last 3 weeks that has changed my thoughts on use it or lose it. And again, I have so many conversations in particular with single Black women. And everybody's like, "Ooh, no, because," or "Ooh, no, because," and there's all the things, there's all the excuses, there's all the reasons, and it comes back to, "Oh, well, I'll meet somebody again someday, and then when I do, then I will." And I'm literally thinking to myself, "Baby girl, you may not be able to." And it's like, "Well, I don't like doing this with myself, and I don't like doing that with myself, and then when I meet Mr.
So
blah,
you got
blah, blah.
a year or 2 years of nothing.
But then when I meet Mr. blah, blah, blah at church, then all of a sudden we'll be back in this, and I will, and I can swing from the chandeliers at that point. And I'm like, sweetheart, number one, you 50, you 56. Like, honey, you're not doing this right now. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, my thought remains the same. Use it or lose it.
Got it.
And that's and everything that we have talked about in the last 3 weeks, and not even for just women.
Not for just women.
Not that doesn't. At first, when we started this conversation, I was thinking it went for just women, but no, it does not. That goes for men as well. That goes for men as well. So
that's for everybody.
Yeah, my thoughts remain the same. Use it or lose it, people.
I just want to say, it was great to literally have you for these last 3 weeks.
Yes,
it's been amazing. Just the gems you dropped, just the terms you used. Too cute, so funny, but also just the enlightened part of, I mean, and your job, I'm sure, is not easy. It's just you deal with every type of probably couple that you could possibly name, with issues, with wanting to get better, coming to you to discuss things, serious things, probably non-serious things or whatever like that. Some which you could laugh about, some which you are like, oh God, you know what I mean? So I am grateful for just the things that you taught us in this little bit of time. It was amazing. It was an amazing.
No, we're going to bring you back. We're going to bring you back.
I loved it. It was my pleasure. Believe me, I would not have tacked this on to the very long talk-filled day that I had for nothing else but this. This is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is a pleasure for sure.
I definitely want to bring you back in February, around Valentine's Day, and as we're talking about love and couples and all the things, you know what I mean?
Well, if there are questions, if we do that, if there are questions in advance that people have, then I can prep and
absolutely
get y'all some rich answers, or richer answers.
No,
Yeah.
you've really been in, just everything, every question, every week. You weren't stumped by anything, which was great. Because you had,
I'm sorry, I seem to be losing my light, but I'm still here. But it's just kind of dark.
This vast, understanding of, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Thank you so much. We are going to be talking. I am going to be contacting you, of course. And like I said, we'll be setting up some things for February, and we'll probably hit you at the beginning of the New Year's. But we'll be in conversations before then. So, Okay. Thank you so much to everybody that was watching tonight. If you had questions and you still have more, we are definitely going to be bringing Janelle back. So just make sure that you are available when she comes back. And send your questions in, and we'll make sure we get her back on, and so that we can answer those questions for you. For Queen Bee and I, it's another Tuesday. It's another month. We wrapped up Sextober.
Yes.
So we have some guests. We have some great guests also that are coming in the month of November, and as we get into the holidays. So we have so much that is going, and some surprises. Say that 3 times fast. Some surprises for you within next month as well.
Yes.
So we love you all for watching. We love you all for listening. And God willing, we'll be back here next week, same time, same place, different show.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Guys.
Love
Thank
you all. Take us away, Jeff.